I want to talk about worlds, right? Obviously, we're going to be doing a little bit of testing later on the stream, but I want to talk about worlds and what you guys think will and won't be there. I have a lot of characters. And I want to make a small tier list. Look at this right here. I want to talk about the world's bracket, the world's graph. We've all seen those the graphs, the brackets that come on to that go on stream of like the pie chart, right? The pie graph that's like has slices, like there's 14 of this guy and 10 of this guy and 7 of this character. And so I want to do my world breakdown, my world speculation list based on the graph. With 4 simple tiers, they will for sure be on the graph. They will be maybe on the graph. They will show up, so they will be in the everyone else category, which is where most people will be. Most people will be in the will show up category. And then we have the won't be there category. And so that's the play. That's the plan, right? Of what I think that you and myself should be prepping and practicing for Worlds 2023. So we're just gonna start from the top, and I can move around and jump wherever I want to, right? The first one that we'll do. Actually, you know what we should do? We should pause the video. All right, so I have the characters back. So they're going to be in a slightly different order because I'm just going to go down through how UVS Ultra does it, and so we'll be able to do it like this. So first and foremost, Toga. I'm going to add this, add a row below. Okay, got it. We'll call this Focus. Toga. Toga 3 will show up. But I don't think Toga 3 is going to exist on the graph. I think this character is good. I think this character has a lot of like aggressive potential. I think this character does cool momentum tricks. This character is not going to be so represented that they will make it as a slice of the pie. There's going to be 2-3 Togas that show up at max to the event. At max. Ochako 4. I think Ochako 4 won't be there. The only reason that you would be playing Ochako 4 at all is because you are you picked up the starter deck. This is for the LCQ or Worlds. LCQs. I'll make that clear. This is for LCQs, Apprentice, because I think for Worlds it's going to be whatever. This is going to be for LCQs because it's the biggest event that's going to have the pie graph, right? The other one's just like a 32-person tournament, like and those players are going to play whatever they bring. I can't jump into the enigma of what they are. But anyways, Ochako 4. I think Ochako 4 is not going to show up. If you want to play a 6-hand size aggro character, there's just better ones that you can do it. If they do show up, there will be one person playing, which I'm going to count as not there, right? The spicy one of. Best Genist. No shot this guy shows up. This guy will not be at the tournament. Nobody is putting times. The only person I'm hearing putting times in rep to this guy is Jacob Johnson. And if he shows up with Best Genist, I think he's trolling. I think it's just like better things that people could be doing. Dobby 3. I think Dobby 3, it's either he'll show up and there'll be 2 people playing him, or he won't be there at all. I think Dobby 3 is going to show up. I think W3 might show up. I think like 2 or 3 people could play the character, but I think there's going to be like 5 or above, right? Like that's the way that you could think about it. Like the 5 or above make it onto the graph. The other ones don't. If I show up trying to sell my Dobby, does that count? Almost. You know what? I should add if you're selling a Chrome Dobby onto the list, you know? Up next, I have Endeavor. Where are you? Endeavor? There you are. All the way down here. Yeah, Endeavor's on the list. Endeavor could be the number one represented character, and it would not surprise me. Endeavor's going to show up. Endeavor's showing up for sure. Gentle Criminal. Gentle Criminal. Man, I wish that when it imported them better than this. They're just everywhere. Wherever this guy is. Hold on. He's blue. We're looking for a blue sky. Boom. There he is. Gentle Criminal won't be there. I think this guy has 6 hand size issues and is too reliant on his opponent interacting and messing with his cool things, cool ideas to make it. I think that he won't be there. I think there's a lot of good matchups that he has and a lot of bad matchups. Apprentice is correct. Polarizing matchups. That's correct. That's correct. We'll move on. Hawks. Hawks. I just saw him too. Boom. Will be on the graph. And I'm going to have the on the graph people in the order that I think that they'll show up. And I think that Hawks will be the second most represented character so far at the tournament. On the graph. I think there's no reason people are a big fan of what Hawks is doing right now because of the 6 hand size life, as well as the control aspect of like swapping zones, affecting the speed stats, so on and so forth. He'll be there. Hood. I like Hood a lot. I think Hood's a very fun deck. Hood is not going to be there though. I don't think Hood shows up to the tournament. Yeah, I don't think there's really anything that Hood does that is ultra special. But we could easily have like Nomu show up, which we'll talk about, right? People forget about that character all the time. Midoriya 5. Midoriya 5. So this guy's interesting because I like this character a lot. I played him a couple times last night on stream, and it was super neato. But I think that he will show up. I could see 3 Midoriya 4s or 3 Midoriya 5s showing up. My issue is that of the Midoriyas, he's not in the top 2, right? You would much rather play Midoriya 2 or Midoriya 4 if you were going to play a character, right? I'd rather play Midoriya 3. He's not even in the top 3. He's like the 4th best Midoriya. Hell, me personally, I'd rather play Midoriya 1. Like, this guy is very cool. And the only reason I'm putting him and will show up is because he's new. He's from the newest set. And that's the only reason. Bakugo 4. So Bakugo 4 is very interesting. Because Bakugo 4 can just blow you up for free. I think Bakugo is a maybe on the graph character. This guy is very good at just like throwing down a bunch of stats, right? He just like slams moves and you just like roll the dice and are like, well, I killed you. And this is a character that is very on brand of doing that. I think this guy is maybe on the graph. But I don't think that he would be definitely on the lower end of said graph. Jiro 2. So I think personally that there's only like at most that's the incorrect person. That worked with my point that I was trying to make, but it is the wrong person. I think that there are only like 5 7-handers in the whole game that you can play right now with a straight face. And I think Jiro 2 is one of them, but I don't think it's enough to be on the graph, right? I just don't think it's true. Untapped Games Squad. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate that. I think Jiro 2 is good, powerful, strong, potent. She's a really good control character. Has the win condition that is surprisingly easy to pull off as long as you can, make some, as long as every turn you're making some push towards my opponent, you're going to be getting counters. Eventually you will win the game. I think everybody who likes Mineta 2 should be playing a deck like Jiro, just because like eventually you will win the game through attrition. It's very good. Ryukyu. Ryukyu will show up to this tournament. I think Ryukyu is still good. I think 60 card Ryukyu is strong. It's not broken and unfair like that sounds like someone that's tired of fighting Mineta 2. I think that Mineta 2 is just being outclassed at the moment, but it's a different conversation. I think Ryukyu is very strong. I really like Life Ryukyu right now. I like life. I like all. I think Earth is fine. It's me. I like where Ryukyu is. He is in my contention for like I just want to play a bunch of 6-hand size aggro decks, and if you disrespect me, I'm gonna put +4 damage on my moves and kill you. Character's good. Shoto 4. Shoto 4. Thanks for the insight on Deku 4. Been bringing it up since I joined the game a month ago. But I think a deck doctor would be something cool to get into. Yeah, man, join me on Patreon. I think we're doing deck doctors tomorrow. I think that's the plan. But Shoto 4. Shoto 4 is Shoto 4. Man, I think this character should be in the same category as Bakugo. Truthfully, I think Shoto 4 is very strong under 2 of his symbols. Like has a very, very strong floor on 2 of his symbols and has a really high ceiling on his 3rd, right? Fire and water, really good floors just because of irrefutable force of nature. But a really high ceiling on the death one of just like the amount of crazy shenanigans you can do of like you can possibly discard cards out of their hand. You can play a bunch of 3 damage or 3 difficulty, 8 damage moves with the binding cloth. It's good. This character should be on the graph somewhere. But for some reason, the idea of blanking my opponent's answers and parallel stats just like isn't appealing to people as I expected it would. I thought this guy was cracked and crazy. We'll maybe see what this guy looks like when the Trigun decks come out, because like all of those cards are ranged. And so like being able to play any of those cards and just like boost them huge is awesome. Shoto 4 needing irrefutable hurts him, and it being a commit cost is tough. The thing is you can get around that with Freezer Burn, because you're allowed to just re-ready a card back up, and so it's like you didn't commit it in the first place. I digress. Asui 3 will show up. This character is a sleeper pick. As soon as somebody cracks how to give this character damage, this character is insane. As soon as this character can figure out how to give damage, the character is nuts. And that is, I think that the Asui is in the field. You should expect to see some amount of Asui, just because they exist. Cammy will not be at the tournament, sadly. I regret to inform you all. She is not a character, sadly. She won't be there. I think the infinite idea with Cammy is very cool, to the point where, like, if I had, like, unlimited time, I would look and see what, like, the best all Cammy deck is, and look for, like, what all my counters were, to see how I can stop it. Like, the main thing that I see stopping the infinite for the Cammy deck is just League Handler. Like, that's the only thing that I'm really seeing in the current metagame that off the top of my head, that's like, oh, I'm just going to hit you with a bunch of 6 damage hardened barrages and just kill you for it. And you can't full block one of them. One of them is going to get through. You have to hold 2 high blocks at all times, or else I just explode you. I think that deck is very good. Edge Shot. If people like 7-hand size aggro decks, Edge Shot could maybe be on the graph. At the very bottom, right? If you told me that 6 people played that Void Edge Shot list that was doing well at these online tournaments, it would not surprise me even a little bit. I think I could see Edge Shot on the graph. In fact, I could see Edge Shot being like all the way up here on the graph, if not like the very last slot on, like, truly on the graph. But we have a lot of characters to get through, so we'll talk about it. Inasa will be there. He's here somewhere. Hold on. What's his background look like? Bright blue. We're looking for blue. There's a blue one. He's here, right? Chad, help. I'm not seeing him at all. Is he just not on my thing? He's not on my thing. He's not here. I don't see him. I wonder if I can upload him. 1 second. Whoop. Oh, hey guys, I found him. Look, here he is. Oh, he's right there. Oh no! instantly found him. Oh, you guys can't see him because it's covered. We now have 2 Inasas on the board, and so we'll have to figure out what to do with that at the end. Inasa will show up. I think Inasa is going to exist in the tournament at somewhere. I think 3 Inasas could show up, and I think that would be expected. Kamui Woods. This character's dog shit. He's not going to be there. He's not showing up. Kamui Woods is not a good character. He doesn't do enough offensively. He does not do enough defensively. Mount Lady 2. Maybe on the graph. Maybe on the graph, and I think it would be here if we did it. This character is incredible. +3 damage on your moves is silly. Being able to activate Twisting Azure Inferno under Chaos for free is nuts. You can take and play essentially this exact same Edgeshot deck under Edgeshot, but you just do it as Mount Lady instead, and you don't get the explosive symmetrical stats, but you do get a consistent +3 damage, stun 1 if you get to 5 counters, and then the inevitability of, oh, eventually I'm going to kill you. The one downside to Mount Lady is that she is a 6-hand size character with no real draw ability. She's just trying to slam a move and make it worth more than its difficulty cost. My 4 damage move is hitting like a 5, or my 4 difficulty move is hitting like a 5 diff. And that's just what the character does. Very cool. Mirko. There is going to be one person who is playing as Mirko. But sadly, that's it. I don't think this character is something to threat or worry about. She's fine. She's fine at best. But that's all of set 6, right? Before we move on, I could do this real fast. Boom. We'll hit a quick poll of do you agree or not, and then if you had to move one person, where would you move them? Right. We'll take 2 seconds. Where would you move? If you had to pick one person to move, where would it be from the set 6 characters? Because as I look, I could maybe honestly. It's probably just like Midoriya moves down. I think if you want to play Midoriya, I think you just play somewhere else. Midoriya 5 to maybe on graph. Untapped Gaming Squad. Show your work. Ochako 4 up. Mount Lady should be on the graph. She's a fan favorite. Interesting. Probably has 2. You think 2 people are gonna play Ochako 4? I mean, it's a starter. It's a starter deck character, so yeah, I guess I could see that. Happy Feet, I could see that. He will get some heavy debuild cards from Bebop. He's able to do some crazy unflip stuff. So you came in late, and that's okay. We're doing a LCQ Worlds tier list of like what is going to be at the LCQs. What is going to be at the LCQs? You know what? Here's something we can do. You ready? Watch this. Give me 1 second. We're changing the graph again. Oh, if I do that, it will be weird. No, I'm not going to. I was going to take and make a black bar on my OBS and put World's Prediction tier list, but I'm just not going to do that. You guys will just have to help. Anywho, so this is a World's Prediction, World's LCQ prediction tier list of where I think representation is going to happen. Not necessarily what are the best characters, but there it is. Okay, so we're going to move on to set 5. Mirio, I think, will be on the graph. I think Mirio is a good character. I think he's going to be represented quite a bit. Oh, I should get rid of the poll. Pew. I think Mirio is a good character. I think he will be represented quite a bit. I do think he'll be at the very, 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 very bottom of the poll. I mean, this guy's still good, right? +2 damage, swap zones. It's a good ability. And cancel one attack if I hit you. It's good. Just because he lost Capture Evildoers and Back Alley Handmaker doesn't mean that the deck is dead. It just means the deck has to be a little different. It might even be the time of, like, maybe we see something like an Era Chaos list come up. Who knows? Overhaul. Overhaul might be on the graph. I don't know what happened and why Overhaul has fallen off. You know what? I'm actually gonna do this as well. I'm gonna put Mirio down because I think that for some reason both these characters play Back Alley Haymaker exceptionally well, and that has scared people away from playing them because that card got axed. I think that you don't need that card in order to play this deck. There it is. You don't need Back Alley Haymaker in order to make these decks work. They work very well under all of their symbols. Kirishima 3. This character is not going to show up to the event. I don't think there will be a single soul playing Kirishima 3 at the event. Wall breaking on Overhaul is hard now? Correct. It might not be in the future, right, because of these Bebop and Trigon cards, but for right now, for Worlds, I think it will be. But Kirishima is not showing up. Not a character that will be at the event, and that's okay. Same thing with Fat Gum. Fat Gum, not showing up. I don't think anybody's going to be wasting their time attempting to, like, really play Fat Gum. If anything, it's the Fat Gum fanboy who's like, oh, this is the only deck that I play. And they run it up, but, like, won't be there is, like, there's a possibility of, like, 1 or less, as opposed to like yeah. Midoriya 4. I think that this is the most likely Midoriya to be at the event, although I don't think that it is the best Midoriya in the game. I still think that is Midoriya 2. I still think that is Midoriya 2. But where does Midoriya 4 go? Midoriya 4. Why do I think Midoriya 2 is the best? I think +1/+3 and building in the foundations as a 6-hander is very good on the symbols that they have. We'll get to him. I don't think Midoriya 4 is going to show up. I think there's just, like, set 6 characters that are doing what Midoriya kind of wants to do, but like better than him with more insular kits. And this character has had no success in the past and got literally 0 tools from the new set, just none. There, like, weren't any punches or relevant furies for Midoriya that I can think of that comes to mind, right? I don't think it's going to happen. Rappa will not be at the event. I think that people are afraid of playing a not 52 card Rappa deck. I think that people will see Rappa and go, I don't get to play my incredibly fast moves or my incredibly slim deck for the consistency to find my bullet punches in order to make the game go well. And so people just aren't going to play Rappa. Nejire will not be at the event. Not a character that I am focused on at all. This character is not one of those 5/7-handers that I think that you can play competitively or play defense right now, right? The -2 damage on or -2 speed on stuff is very good for defense. The +2 damage is very good for killing. The way that if you respect Nejire, I don't think she gets there. It's when you disrespect what Nejire can do where she's really potent and powerful. But, like, her wall breaking, like, doesn't exist. It just doesn't exist. Very good at staying alive, not very good at killing. Speaking of, Sir Night-Eye, not a character we have to worry about. This character will not exist at the HLC. 60 card lists of people push people away from the idea of deck outs. I don't think it's going to happen. Amajiki, I grabbed him earlier, so now he's possibly in a weird spot. Amajiki is interesting. So I think Amajiki is a very good character. We all know that, like, I really liked set 5 Chaos Amajiki. We all have, or most of us, I'm sure, have seen Chris Bromley's Water Amajiki list that he made. I think this character could squeak in as the last person on the graph at the absolute best, but I don't think they will. I think they will just show up. I think 4 people tops play MHACCG. And if the field is more narrow, like I think it's going to be, they're not going to make the cut. There's going to be too many. I'm playing 6, 6, 7, 8, 14 of this character. Yuhojo will not be on the list. Where you at? Yuhojo will not be there. There might be one person, but again, people are afraid of 60 card decks. The idea of like this self-hatred Yuhojo of like I cut myself down to 10 health and then I kill you because of how consistent my 50 card deck is just doesn't exist at the moment. Chronostasis is not a deck. There's just not much to say. This guy just hasn't gotten a whole lot of love. Dataro Sakaki. Momentum outs are too good. I think giving my opponent momentum stuff just like doesn't work. This guy won't be at the event. Not going to talk about Fat Gum 2, although he is on my sheet. He's here somewhere because he exists as a character. Tin Guy will not be at the tournament. Where's it at? Where's he at? Where's the bird boy? Boop, there he is. Tin Guy will not be at the tournament. Barrier Shield is incredible, but you do not need access to Barrier Shield every single turn. Does not having access to this card is not necessary. He has an issue killing people. If he can figure out how to get the job done, we'd be down. Lock. One of the most annoying do-nothing characters in the whole game. He will not be at the tournament. He just doesn't do enough. He doesn't do enough. Mimic. Hot take. I think this is the most slept-on character in the format. I think that the people who are playing in the main event, who are playing Mimic, that have grinded this character out, are going to go crazy. This character got access to a lot of good support inside of all 3 of their symbols. Specifically, the idea of that chaos list. Being able to block, being able to have more access to more copies of the T card, right? Gold T seems good to Mimic. That's what I'm saying, right? Gold T Imperial in Mimic seems kind of silly. Seems really, really silly. And so like that's the big thing that I see with Mimic is just like you have access to more assets. You have more attacks. You've got a lot of stuff. Hacker Extraordinary eats Mimic for breakfast. I think that there's ways under our 3 symbols to deal with Hacker is the number one thing, right? Like if you know that Hacker is an issue, you can solve those problems, whether it be like stripping their momentum or flipping the card, right? Like this has 2 apathetic symbols. You just flip the card, and they can't do that anymore. I'm not going to waste my time with Katsukami. I had a subathon do that already. I wish to not spend any more of my life on this character. This character helped break me from ever wanting to do subathons ever again. Shin Nomono, also not going to be there. Again, we could see one guy playing as Shin, but not something that you have to worry about in the meta. Tabe. Tabe's interesting because he has... We'll find him. He has some really interesting ideas. He has interesting ideas, and he has ideas that really haven't gone anywhere, right? I think the only reason that people have put Tabe down is because they have picked up new shiny tools, new shiny toys of characters. But I bet under the all death and evil symbol, I bet this character has something to be, something to show off. I think at the absolute best, he could show up at like maybe 3 people are huge Tabe fans just because like they're a big fan of the destroying my opponent's foundation aspect of it, without the slow monotonous gameplay of Monetta's deep build, right? Tabe debuilding versus Mineta debuilding is like a different idea. But like I think that's just me being too nice to a character that I enjoy playing. Like I like what Tabe does. And so to try and get my personal bias out of there, I'm just going to put him down and won't be there. But I do think that he has something that he could say. Toya. Toya's not showing up. They ruined my boy with how Bright Future works. Plus, you can't even play Bright Future at the tournament. It's not allowed. Sorry for all you Bright Future gamers. Yeah, this guy might see some play whenever the new Clash decks come out, right? We have a Clash deck with the All symbol where a lot of those cards have weapon, so that's neat. Imagine giving a flip a foundation for these moves to get not just 2 speed from Vash, but 1 damage. Be kind of good. On the UGN app, they don't have the card Bright Future in their card database, so you can't actually register that card for the tournament. The card got shadow banned. Bubble Girl. Do you guys remember when Bubble Girls were $100? You guys remember that? Yeah, Bubble Girl's not showing up. Bubble Girl not making it to the tournament. Man, I wish this character was better and cooler than they are, but they're just not. They're just not. They're just not. I sold mine for like 60. Wow. That is a good deal. Cries in $75 Bubble Girl. Yeah. Yeah. But more importantly, that's the end of set 5. Do you agree? Do you agree with where I have placed things? I think the only ones that I'm a little nervous on are these ones. Because I think that it could be this, and I think it might be more accurate. But at the same time, like, a lot of people play Overhaul, right? Like, Life Overhaul doing Tasty Rift stuff is good. I think MHACCG is def a maybe. I agree. I'd say Overhaul might go down a bit. Chamber agrees. Cross agrees. I think this is the biggest gamble on the list so far. Because this easily could, like, be here. And, like, 2-3 people show up and play Mimic. And I'm blown out. But I think this guy's very good. I think it's very good. In fact, I should be doing more Mimic testing because I now own 4 triggers. I never tested with Mimic because it doesn't fucking own the card. I just didn't own the card. I think that I'm going to do this. And then I think that's where I'm going to leave it for my final set 5. I think MHACCG is just doing better than what Overhaul's doing right now. And it's not even necessarily that they're doing better. It is the fact that I think that there will be more representation. But will there be more representation? I'm going to flip a coin. I have to. Heads is MHACCG. It is tails. So we'll put Overhaul up top. There it is. That's how undecided I am, truly. I'm truly undecided. We'll move on. Set 4. All for One coming in hot. All for One will not be at the tournament. I juked you. I got you guys. Yeah, he's not showing up. Not a deck. I know Scott Sunman did really well with them. And he showed up to Dallas, right? He topped. And did Scott get into the event? The only All for One player has invite already. Scott got his invite, right? And so that is neat. That's cool. I also think that maybe this All for One deck might get swallowed up by Hawks, right? He's playing 4 ultimate combination attack. You slam the damage on it, and then Hawk switches it. And it's like a 4 damage move, and you look at him and go, sorry about it. All for One lost in top 32. He didn't make it. Got it. So maybe he shows up, but I don't think there's gonna be a resurgence of nobody's beating down the door I gotta play All for One. Very tame-ass character though, like that guy. No reason to really talk about this. He's not showing up. Not a character. Dobby 2, despite my bitching, is not very good. Toga 2 is if you wanted to play a Toga character that does cool momentum stuff, you should just play Toga 3. It's just 100% better in every way. Kurogiri 2, if you're a Kurogiri fanboy, absolutely. Moonfish. Moonfish is not a character either, will not be showing up. Let's talk about the one that is interesting. Muscular. So here's the deal. I think that we could see Muscular showing up. Have 4 people playing Muscular. That would not surprise me. Having a top 4 finish in a large tournament like that does turn heads. It does. Being able to utilize things like Tasty Riff is very cool, right? In order to like grab cool things, it's very neat. I'm not positive that, like, I want to put the will show up, right? But I think that just due to the respect of like what this character could do, I think people could play it. I think it's 4 people at the most, though, right? The Muscular fans who have been dying, they finally saw it and went, I want to play this character now. Spinner will not show up. There just needs to be slightly more weapon support under their symbols. And then I think this character is probably good to go. Shigaraki 3 is going to be on the chart, possibly as the 3rd most represented character. If you are not prepared to fight Shigaraki 3, do not show up to the event. It's just how it is. He is the best control character in the game. He is the best 7-hander in the game, bar none. It's not close. If you're playing a 7-hand size control character, like I would never play Nejire over Shigaraki. I would never play MHACCG over Shigaraki. You should just play Shigaraki. Twice. Not a character. Where you at, Twice? Hold on, what's the background look like? I'm looking for green and purple. Ah, there we are. Not a character. Not a character. I wish they didn't do my boy quite so dirty. If this is the 2nd copy of an attack you played this turn, it should say if it's at least the 2nd copy of an attack you play, I would play the hell out of this guy. If I could go swing with the same move and it gets +2, +2, +2, +2, +2, +2 the whole turn, I'd be so down. That'd be so cool. But he only gets the +2, +2 one time. Mr. Compress. So Mr. Compress is one of those decks that when they came out was all over the place. And Mr. Compress is one of those characters that, with the new rules change, actually benefits really, really nice. You no longer have to hard memorize what's in my momentum in order for me to pay the life and then reveal, potentially play it. I get to look and then go, oh, I'll pay my 1 life, reveal this one. Hey, this is what I want, and then play it. You won't be there. I disagree. I think he's one of the best characters, and I'm positive one of the 4 players who get in will be a Shigaraki 3 character. But I think people will fear the idea in that grindy game that one mess up will cost them the HLC. I think people like to play defense, and so I think that people like to play Shigaraki. Right? If you are down to play Shigaraki at a online event where things are even slower, you're down to play Shigaraki in person. Innsmouth won't show up. There's no carpal stuffing in the new set, right? But we got cool ranged or slams. I mean, we could. No, it just won't be there. It won't be there. Magni. Blue and purple for Magni. You don't exist? Hold up. There you are. Yeah, she's not showing up either. Yeah, not a character. Not a character. Eraserhead 3. Not going to show up. This card's bad. This card's bottom 10 characters in the game. I very much dislike this person. Very much dislike this one. Midoriya 3. Midoriya 3. Let's see. Midoriya 3. If you play a kick or punch card against Breaker 2 Stun 2, didn't really get anything. You didn't get any kicks. Your kick or punch gets a damage for each card in your stage. I guess you got punches from Order, so like maybe Order Midoriya 3 could do something. I just don't think anybody's going to put in the time needed in order to make Midoriya 3 matter, you know? Like I just don't think it's going to matter. Bakugo 3 though. I think Bakugo 3 is one of those characters that should be explored more. I think that this is the best we'll put it down to focus. This is the best character out of this little 4-character pack, right? I think that Bakugo 3 now is better than Midoriya 3 on like what they are wanting to do. 7-hand size aggro character. There's more Bakugo discard card or remove cards clear my card pool support. Like discard a card and then we redraw a card, right? Oh, you just remove it, and then you have to draw cards off of the thing. Flip 3 foundations, draw 2. Yeah, I could see a Bakugo 3 going hard. But it's just not going to show up. If Bakugo 3 topped, I'd be like, oh yeah, I get it. That's fine. But I just don't think he's going to show up and be represented. Shoto 3, same idea. It's just not gonna happen. This DLC, honestly, like, wasn't very good, right? Like the best thing that came out of it was the Infinite with Eraserhead stuff with the All Might card. Everything else really lackluster. Like really lackluster. Yeah. All Might 7. All Might 7. Where's this boy at? Where's this guy at? All Might 7. The Denki attack sees a little play. You know, that's fair. I forgot that was an attack. I like that as like a 1 or 2 of in Chaos Mimic. I don't mind it. Maybe even evil. I don't know if it has evil. All Might 7. Range cards are good. You know what? Maybe with the new pack, with the new Clash decks coming out, maybe this guy is playable and like good and decent. He's probably not gonna show up. I like this character, and I'm trying to pull my bias out of it, right? Like of the characters in this tier, right? And we'll call it a tier. This character is very good, right? He should be up here, but I just don't think the character is going to show up. So I said that there's not a single set 4 character that's going to show up. I guess it's just Muscular. Oh, and Shigaraki, I guess. Shigaraki, Muscular, that's it from set 4? What are your guys' thoughts? Do you agree on my placements? Like it's maybe this, at best maybe. Personally, pretty sure it's just Shiggy. I mean, this guy is going to show up, right? There's going to be at least 2 or 3 people because he just did well at the last tournament, right? And this guy has an interesting play pattern. 2, mostly because I think Muscular is overhyped. See, that's the thing about tier lists like this. It doesn't matter how good they are. This is a hype tier list. How good do we think that with them showing up is going to be? Literally not a real boy decks everywhere. What? I don't know what that means. But we'll see. We'll have to see. Moving on to set 3. Endeavor 3. That's not a guy. Yeah, people have moved on. If you want to play Endeavor, go play Endeavor 3. Eraserhead 2. Not going to show up. Won't be there. I think that this character is cool. I think this character belongs in sideboards more than main boards currently. I think this guy being in the sideboard is very potent, very strong. Can be inside of a lot of different decks. I like this character a lot when it comes to existing inside of playing the game. Coda had the biggest glow up with this set and will show up. I could see 5-6 people playing the tasty riff Coda deck of I'm going to draw my entire deck, put 13 cards in my card pool. You better have held every single high block possible. I think that that's the best way to play the good symbol tasty riff loop is with Coda. The biggest thing about I think Coda is maybe on the graph. Whoa, that's crazy. You think like 7-8 people are going to play Coda? I think that's not true. I think Coda is a character that you have to think about, but I don't think they're going to make it to the graph. Yeah. Can't wait for year 2 whenever we do the poll. But I think that the big thing that the Coda deck is doing is the big thing the Coda deck is missing is damage pump. Yes, I can play 100 moves, but I want to hit hard. I need to be able to do some actual damage. 3 damage isn't enough, and it's just that simple. My boy, they killed my boy. Mezzo Shoji. Let's talk about Shoji for a second. So Shoji's very interesting because I think that the people who are playing Life Muscular could be playing Life Shoji instead and getting very similar results. Because Shoji starts the game and every turn with 4 counters. Shoji also accidentally gives 4 damage to a singular move, i.e. Tasty Riff. Shoji can turn your Tasty Riffs into actual kill moves, right? In the same way that Muscular can, but eventually Shoji can accidentally do it on turn 2. I think that like if I was more if we had less characters in the game for me to play, right? And I wasn't trying to play if I didn't painstakingly sacrifice myself to do like every character from set 6 under every symbol as like stuff. A Tasty Riff Shoji 2 deck would be something that I would look into as like, what can I possibly do here, right? If we were playing a C tier character event, like you couldn't play the good ones, Shoji would be at the top of my list. With that, he's not going to show up. Same thing with Sato. He's not going to be there. Just nobody. If this is played, it'll be out of the blue. Starting the game building a 2 diff is cool. It's very good. And then like if you hit with 2 Tasty Riffs, you can start building 3s, right? And so like you'll always have it. Stain 2 doesn't exist. Isn't a character. I think that there's not good enough stuff to play. 13. No, 13 is just not good enough either. Yeah, 722, not quite there. Shigaraki 2, cool combo character, not enough health. Toru. Does Water Toru get there? Is Air Toru potent enough? Like you could do like Falling Skies things with Toru still, under the air symbol. You can't really do the punch thing with Toru anymore because you really want a back alley to open them up. Now you have to hit 2 riffs. Riff only gives you applause counters, and you have to choose a counter for when you build. Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, if you can land 2 tasty riffs, you then get to build in 3 diffs. I think that's what I attempted to say, Dan. If that's not how it came across, then whatever. Toru will be a sideboard. Oh, for sure, right? But like we're talking mainboard stuff. We could put all these characters in sideboard, like Sakaki in the sideboard for sure. This character's probably not going to be there. I've not heard any rumblings about this character in the thought. Like this character doesn't do anything exciting. With that said, this character is consistent, right? If you don't want to die on turn 2, I mean this character is probably it for you, right? Like Endeavor playing their last move, committing out everything except for their character, and then you just like add it back to their hand and go, yeah, try it again though. And then you can find the backswing. But there's the issue. You have to find the backswing. And that's what I think is tough. So I'll say she won't be there. Backdraft is not a character in the My Hero Academia collectible card game. Not a guy. Death Arms. Not a guy. Didn't get anything interesting. Lost his best Earth attack. Nezu. Not a character. Mandalay. Name an attack zone of the next play this turn. When I see Mandalay, I see mono mid. I see mono mid. Like Storm of Blades decks, and there's just like way better decks you could be doing this with. Nobody's gonna play this character. Pixie Bob. Do you remember whenever we were talking about? Where's this character? Do you remember whenever we were talking about Shoji 2? Where if I was playing an event full of bad characters, Pixie Bob might be the best of all the bad characters. This character is very, very potent, but has some consistency killing issues. Death has been the most abused sleeper this year. Death Arms. Interesting. I would love for you to put your money where your mouth is. That's very cool. I would love to see what like a sick Death Arms run looks like. If you're going to the event this month or next month, I guess. This character won't be there, but I wish this character would show up because I think this character does a lot. Is very good. Ragdoll, not a character. I'll be there. Are you gonna play Death Arms? Because if so, that's tight. Ragdoll, inconsistency with silly combo stuff. Cool combo deck, but that's all she'll ever be. Is she's just trying to gimmick. You're playing Death Arms? That's tight. I love that. Tiger. Tiger will not be there. They printed a better version of Tiger. He's right up here. Look at him. They printed a better Tiger. The only thing that Tiger has going for them is the infinite. Just because. But even then, I would rather play Cammy because 6 hand size and you have to have 2 high blocks. But like Tiger does truly go infinite. If you don't have a high block versus that combo, you lose the game. You can't win. All Might 5. All Might 5. All Might 5 does not show up. All Might 5 does not show up. Recovery Girl. Let's talk about Recovery Girl for a second. Recovery Girl has 2 Tasty Riff symbols. Recovery Girl would love to be an 8 hand size character. Recovery Girl can make sure that Tasty Riff hits and Tasty Riff builds in a card. Recovery Girl, this will be her first in-person event back. Recovery Girl will show up at this tournament. I think 4-5 people will be playing Tasty Riff Recovery Girl and making something happen. This is a good deck. It is a deck that should be on your radar. I don't want you to go to the tournament with your super awesome aggro deck and get absolutely punked by a Recovery Girl. I would be afraid of that for you if your deck is not fast enough or can't play the correct game. Recovery Girl is very good. Recovery Girl is very, very good. Yeah, it's actually just that simple. She's good. All Might 7, Gran Torino. So that means that we are done with set 3. And I got to ask, guys, what are your thoughts on where I placed the set 3 characters? Do you agree with the only additions that we had were we put Coda in the Will Show Up and Recovery Girl in the Will Show Up? Who did I miss? Who should be higher from my set 3 stuff? The only one that I could maybe see is maybe looking at Toru, but again, I just haven't heard anybody talk about this. Coda 2 should be higher. I don't think Coda 2 makes it on the graph. I'm excited to be wrong about it. A defensive Endeavor 2. See, the thing is again, this isn't a power level tier list. Reminding anybody who's joining in, this is how likely are you going to see them at the tournament, right? How many of them are going to show up? So the top one is they're going to be on the graph. They're going to be the most represented characters in the game for sure, mandatory. The maybe on the graphs these are the lower half, the second half, right? When you start getting down to the when you start getting down to these are my four ofs, five ofs at the most, right? The will show ups are the anywhere from 3 to 2s or 4 to 2s. The 4 people are playing this across the whole event, and the won't be theirs are the 1 or less, right? You could have the biggest gentle criminal fanboy in the world, but there's not going to be 6 gentle criminals at this tournament. There just isn't going to be. You by yourself cannot make me move the won't be there up. So a defensive Endeavor 2, no blocking, I can't push it up. Gran Torino, as we get to set 2, does not exist. Doesn't exist. Not enough cool tools pieces. Endeavor. I read Endeavor in the chat. Midoriya 2. I still think is the best Midoriya right now. I think this character is very good. I think this character should show up. I don't think this character will show up. I think that if people are going to be playing an aggro 6-hand size character, they're going to be playing something from set 6. Set 6 is defined by its 6-hand size, aggro, pump stats, do the thing, pump stats, build cards characters, as well as people saw Back Alley get banned and go, I don't want this anymore. This character is still very good. This character still rolls face. It's not close. Bakugo. Bakugo 2 will not be at the tournament. Sag, I know. Yeah, this guy is not going to show up. Yeah, there's not much I can say about that. He has an incredible powerful move now, right? We have an attack with powerful 4 that can become powerful 6, and it says if it's fully blocked, they burn for 2. And it doesn't need to combo. It's very good. In the Endeavor Secret Rare, he's not going to show up. If Hatsume shows up to this tournament, it will be exclusively off of the back of Ben Lambright playing this character on my stream so that the word gets out about how cool this character is right now. I don't know why this is playing in my chill stream playlist. Hold on. I'm going to put this in. That was not chill. It's so funny. Okay, Hatsume. With that said, I don't think that she shows up. I think at most 2 people, which would technically classify her for the will show up. I think that she is in the same idea as Mimic, but if you want to play a cool asset deck, you should just play Mimic instead. You should just play Mimic if you want to play the cool Hatsume stuff. If you want to play like an asset theme deck, asset-based deck, excuse me. Mina might be on the graph. I think this character is incredible. I think this character is super, super good. I think this character is incredibly budget. I think if you are a new player, if you picked up the deck, if you pick up the game today, and you were like, I am determined to go to Worlds, I think the number 1 deck that I would put you on is Mina. It just is. Because you are looking for one specific foundation, and as soon as you see that card, you slam it in your stage. On the first move, you toss all of them out there, and then you play every attack card in your hand. And just play them all. Beep, 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 beep. And you hit them for 1, and you burn them for 5. Incredible. I think this character is good. It should see representation. This character is powerful. This character is good. Admission fees? We got it. Ochako 3. Ochako 3 is not a character card. Todoroki 2 is not a character card. Where you at? Boop. Won't be there. Stain. Didn't get anything. Won't be there. Dabi. I do think that Dabi 1 probably over the course of like a big long tournament is still probably the best Dobby. I think it's better than what Dobby is doing. But probably won't show up. I think this character card, this is one of the characters that I have certainly changed my mind on, of like, when you are a skilled Dobby player, your skill expression shows off very well. At the same time, sometimes you just accidentally go jolt into twisting into double jab pummel into and you're just like, well, you all have +3 and you have -2 to your check and I got +4 to mine, so boom. And sometimes it's there. With that said, I don't think anybody's gonna prefer the character. Endeavor has been outshined. This was never a card. Sero 2. What does Sero 2 do? Sero 2 is pretty okay at the moment at slowing down what my opponent is got going on, right? I commit one, you commit one, and stun hate is at an all-time low because the best stun card is gone now. The best stun card being Back Alley Hitmaker is gone, right? The big thing about it, though, is, like, my opponent gets to pick the thing that gets stunned. And so if they have a singular piece of stun hate, it kind of just hoses this whole character. If they build one keeping Ares safe, it's just over, right? If they build one problem solving, this is done, right? Like, your one card beats out half of my character card. And for that reason, I'm out. Toga. Guys, Toga hasn't gone anywhere. In fact, Toga has like this new cool evil feather build that if you remember week 1, I believe like Pippa played it on stream. And the deck was very cool. I think it took a game or like was super close to taking a game. This deck is still good. This deck is still good. This deck is allowed to play life tasty riff stuff with like just like quality life symbol things. I don't think that anybody's going to be playing Toga, but it should be up here. People should be playing it. I don't think it's graph worthy, but people should be playing this character. People have just forgotten that this character exists. Shinzo. No, I think Shinzo's going to show up. I could see like 3 people playing Shinzo. Strictly because, oh, you guys can't see him? I have to make this bigger? I'm gonna make it smaller. Yeah. Yeah, that's fine. All right, what if I make it bigger though? If I make it bigger, can you guys, you see a recovery girl here? Yeah, okay, cool. Shinzo is people might just like be trying to play the ultra rare and do cool things. Ibarra. Is there like a silly Ibarra card that's like really good? I don't think so, right? Like Ibarra like hasn't got anything crazy. There's not like a new dumb low attack to like do the thing. This character is allowed to play Tasty Rift and like make them hit for 5 or whatever. Make them hit for 6, which is like good. Right? That thing that card needs is damage. Moneta 2 is going to be at the tournament. He will show up. Moneta 2 is a good character. Moneta 2, I'll say it again, is a good character. Moneta 2 had its #1 nemesis banned. If you are not ready to fight Moneta 2, you should not be coming to the tournament. If you're not ready to fight him, you shouldn't come. Monoma! Not a character. President Mike 2! Not a character. Ida 3. I like Ida 3. Nobody's talking about him. He's not going to show up. Not going to show up. Tetsu. Tetsu is interesting. Tetsu is one of those characters that, like... Tetsu is one of those characters that 2 are going to show up to LCQs just to spite me. I'm going to put it here because that's where it belongs. Nobody should be preparing to fight Tetsu. You should just like know what's going on, do your homework on these characters. But somebody's going to register 2 just so I was wrong about putting this here. That's just where it is. Ingenium has almost never been registered. Disagree completely. I think Moneta has fallen off even with the hits. Interesting. Interesting. I guess I have to trust your word because you're a Mineta guy. But I did also say that if you are playing Mineta, you should just be playing Jiro 2 instead. But I still think this character is potent. I do. Breaker 1 to all these 68 size aggro characters is good. The question is can you survive? Ingenium, not a character. Fourth kind, for the same idea of what Sero 2 had going on, there's just too much stun hate that could potentially just ruin a fourth kind's run. With that said, though, like, fourth kind has tools and has been given tools. Can you imagine under the earth symbol, I play my Falling Skies as my fourth move as a 0 diff? It gets +4 damage. I give it +4/+4 and then run it. I agree Jiro is better underwater, and Hawks honestly does Mineta's job better. That's fair. If you care about the speed hate thing, yes. But I think as for the D-build and defense, I still like Mineta. Ectoplasm. Ectoplasm, not a character. Cementos, not a character. Although Cementos' Falling Skies are absolutely disgusting. So keep that in mind. Snipe, not a character. Where you at? Boop. Kaminari 2. So this is interesting. We get to peek at the momentum now. My biggest thing with Kaminari is we don't have a real momentum like dunk that's not the 6 diff, the Blitz Rush, right? Or I guess Tape Swing, which we have to play Order Void Order to get in order to get both. Like there's not a big payoff for the momentum that we grab besides tap your whole board. Nobody's gonna play him. Kirishima, they slaughtered my boy. Momo 2, not a character. Sorry about your XRs. Ayama 2, bad character. Gunhead, doesn't exist. Selkie. Selkie is going to, the one person is going to play Selkie because there are new slams. We've done it. We've cracked the case. Uwabami. Uwabami is in muscular tier for me, and I'll move her up here. Because Uwabami is this Tasty Riff character that is doing very similar things to what Muscular does, but Muscular feels like we have this inevitability of I'm going to get 6 counters and all my moves are going to do 12 damage, as opposed to Uwabami where they all get +1 damage, right? So so Uwabami is like I want to play actually Uwabami is like Coda, right? If you want to play Uwabami, I think you should just play Coda instead because of the way that you can like build things in and make them not count as progressive. Not count as progressive for the turn is better than +1 on my next check or -1 difficulty, right? So for that reason, if you want to play Uwabami, you should just play Coda instead. And that's it for set 2. What are you guys' thoughts? I think she's really good. I did well in the webcam event, but I didn't know how the Shiga 3 matchup well enough, and I played against 2. To be fair, one of them won the tournament. Fair. Yeah. That is fair. That's fair. What are you guys' thoughts on my placement for the set 2 characters? The only set 2 characters of note that I have are maybe on the graph is Mina. Will show up is Hatsume, Shinzo, and Mineta. Everybody else not really doing it for us. I think the only one that probably should move is just this guy. He probably isn't going to show up. Like, why Shinzo? I think people are going to care about the new Ultra Rare. It's not a good decision, but it's a decision that they get to make. You know, I'm moving him. He's not real. He's not real. Much as I love Tasty Uwabami, I know she won't show up unless I'm there. And even then, if you solo it, it still won't be there. It has to be 2 or more for it to move to it will show up. I will move on to the set 1, the set that's going to shake it all up. Right now, we've got like nobody in our will show up. Right? We've got 200 characters and most of them suck. What am I saying? That's crazy. All Might will not show up. Denki will not show up. I think Denki. Actually, is there a charge attack that's worth it? I'm gonna do a little looking. I'm going to do a little looking. No. Charge. Air, Order, Chaos, Charge. Go. Is there a charge attack that is worth moving stuff into for? Gently Thief is kind of cool. St. Louis Smash is kind of neat. It's kind of neat. Whoa, that is kind of cool. Like, if you let St. Louis Smash hit, you get to clear your pool and then do it again. The issue is if your rival is more ready than committed, that won't happen because I'm Denki. Right? I guess Falling Skies is a good one. But, like, I can't play attacks after I give it throw. So, like, I guess it's not a good one. Yeah, not a character. Nobody's going to play him. Yeah, there he is. Kirishima. Nobody's willing to put in the time. Eraserhead. Eraserhead will show up. I think there will be 3 Eraserheads. 4 tops, which would put him at the bottom of maybe on graph. There will not be very many Eraserheads. That's true. That's true. At least Walt will play it. Yeah. Tokoyami. People are afraid of 60 card Tokoyami. They don't want Tokoyami to do it. Or they don't want Tokoyami to it'll be inconsistent. It won't be. Tokoyami's not going to show up to this tournament. I think that 7-hand size is scary for your aggro decks. With that said, Fire Tokoyami is probably better than he's ever been. And is a character that you should be giving a try if you are not. You should be looking at Fire Tokoyami. You know what? I will do this. I'll give him the same respect that I give Eraserhead. There might be like 3 people showing up. There might be like 3 people with Eraserhead, 3 people with Tokoyami showing up. That's what I should do tonight. I should make a Fire Tokoyami deck and just like run it. See what happens. Sero will not show up. Midoriya 1. So sad. Bakugo 1. This saddens me because this is the best Bakugo, and I think that this Bakugo is incredible. I think Bakugo is super, super good. I think that this character has a lot of potential, especially with the new Bakugo support, to do a lot of really crazy, messed up things. So the fact that like not there is very saddening. Jiro will be on the graph. Jiro will be on the graph right there. Jiro's nuts. Jiro's the best character in the game, and it's not close. Moneta 1 will not show up. Momo will not show up. Momo should show up. Momo should be in the exact same tier as these 2 right here of giants from the past that should be played at 1 or 2 ofs. Is the graph one in order? The graph one is in order. Maybe on graph is not. Everything else is not. Momo, sadly, will not show up. There might be 1 person playing this character, and that's it. Nomu. Nomu should be on the graph. There's no reason that Nomu is not on the graph. Nomu has, under the Earth symbol, is insane right now. Nomu under the Earth symbol is cracked in half. I think that 6-diff Nomu is the best way to play that character. 6-diff Nomu is insane. Then I disagree. I think Jiro will be the most played character. I don't know. But she's the best character, and it's not close. I think Nomu is insane right now. I think Nomu is correct. In fact, I want to play 6-diff Nomu tonight. Maybe I make that. Ochako. Not a character. Nobody's gonna play her. Ochako is one of the is my favorite Life Tasty Rift deck. It's very, very good. 6-diff Nomu has been funny to watch. Yeah, 6-diff Nomu is, I think, very good. Todoroki will not be there. Very good character. Is the last, let me double check, last 7-hand size control character that I think could exist. Ida will not be there. Shigaraki will show up because Shigaraki always shows up. There's always 3 Shigaraki ones at every event. Yeah. Asui, 7 hand size character. You're not allowed to play those. Aoyama? No, not a character. All Might, despite seeing the coolest All Might deck of all time last night, won't be there. Kamui Woods, no. All Might. All Might lost Haymaker, which is a big deal. And for that reason, I think that they're not going to show up. Ojiro will not show up. It's on nobody's radar. Mezzo Shoji. Pay 4 health, pick up Tasty Riff is so cool. Mina doesn't exist. Why would you play this Mount Lady? This Mount Lady with Titan Cliff is very cool, though, because you can just build in Mount Ladies. All Might 2. Why would you play this instead of Endeavor? Ochako will show up. This character is still very good. This character, like, if you disrespect this character, just murders you. Just kills you. Ida 2 will not show up. Oh, Asui 2 will not show up. Kuraguri will not show up. Midnight will not show up. Present Mike will not show up. Actually, hold on. Let's go back to Midnight real fast. Void Punch Midnight still exists. Void Punch Midnight still exists. There's a lot of keywords on a lot of cards. So and doesn't get actually I think in the same idea that people should be testing as Mimic, people should be testing as Midnight. Interesting. Okay, we'll continue. Sato will show up. This character is good. This character is super playable. Filter my hand, fix it all. Toru will not show up. And this is the list. My roommate plays Midnight. It's fairly legit, just prone to draws. Yeah, that's fair. I think it's probably the best punch deck now. So my question, chat, do you agree? What are your thoughts on this? This is what I think that the event is going to be. It's going to be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 30, 31, 32, 33. 33. Midnight was always the best Void Punch deck. I'm not positive that's true. I still think Eraser is probably better, but there's that. Are you able to share what I'll be bringing? At the moment, the number one thing on my list is Jiro, which is what I'll be playing for the rest of the night. Ingenium should be on the list, on the graph pad list. Probably that at Nats Midnight was better than Eraserhead. Just wasn't as popular. It's fair. We also, like, when it comes to the idea of popular, like, I wasn't playing it on my stream, and so it was just like it was only a couple people doing well at the events. I don't know. I really liked it. I think the only character that I disagree is with Dobby. Dobby probably could go here, and I think that it would look better. It would probably look better, but I'm gonna leave it here for now. But this, I think, is the thing that you should be prepping for. I think everybody has forgotten that Nomu exists. And this guy is very good right now. Very good under the Earth symbol. This guy kills you. This guy right here kills you. This guy right here, I think, is good against this guy. This guy, way better than this guy. This guy gets to play all of this guy's move. Speed Nomu, best Nomu. I don't know what that means. But with that said, you guys, if you are watching this over on YouTube, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Would love to know your thoughts and opinions on the list. Who should I move? Who did I get absolutely wrong? Let me know. With that, thank you very much for watching. As always, I wish you well.